Ladies and Gentlemen, wir haben es geschafft. Wir sind im Paradies. Avalon. Wir haben es geschafft. Das Land der Hoffnung. Das Land der Blumen, wo der Turm am Ende der Welt steht. Im inneren See. Und dort erwartet uns eine ganz bestimmte Person. Der gute Merlin hat uns hier nämlich hierher geführt. Nachdem wir uns beim letzten Mal hier die Geschichte um die Entstehung, die deutlich grausamer ist, als wir es erwartet haben, und uns nun hier die Sünde hier der Feen erklärt hat. Hat uns hierher gelotst und hier soll ja Castoria ihre Aufgabe hier bekommen. Sie hat ja die 6 Glocken geläutet und wie wir nun erfahren haben, ist das im Endeffekt das Zeichen des Paradieses, dass die Feen ihre Original Sin eingestanden haben. Heißt es auch, Leute, wir werden hier Merlin daheim besuchen. Sehen wir die ganzen Magic Mary Plakate? Wird Fu seine Rache bekommen? So oder so. Oh, Leute, Mann. Allein schon der Name. Ja, es wird auf jeden Fall großartig. Ich sage mit Merlin, es wird großartig. In Kapitel Nummer 18. The Moment a Planet is Born. Das wird ein damn epic Kapitel, Mann. Also es wird echt gut werden. Also ich bin mir wirklich sicher, dass es noch besser wird und das heißt schon was. Weil, wie gesagt, also es ist so schön, Mann. Wir haben am Anfang das Intro hier gesehen. Wir haben BDW schon hier gesehen. Doch nun sind wir zum allerersten Mal selbst hier. So, this is Avalon. The planet's in the sea. This is where proper human history is. King Arthur is said to have gone after he died. The wind, the atmosphere. Everything's so warm and peaceful. Right? There's no such thing as evil in paradise. It's a separate world that neither influenced nor is influenced by the surface, no matter how apocalyptic things may be up there. All there is here is hope. This place is a workshop that weaves together all possibilities to lead this planet and you guys to a happy ending. That being said, these are still only remnants of Avalon, a shadow being projected into the British Lostbelt. The tower imprisoning me isn't here. There isn't much mana in the air, so there's no lake where the fairies gather. The only thing here is the site of selection. Haben wir da nicht den Turm gesehen? The forge where the 6 fairies were supposed to create the sacred sword. The site of selection. Is that anything like the stone that continued the sort of selection in the legend of King Arthur? The one that Arthur found when he was still a squire being raised by Sir Ector's adopted child? The one he pulled a sort of selection from and demonstrated that he was destined to be king. Das hätte das nicht sagen müssen, Mesh. Ich meine, so viel kennen wir inzwischen schon Eternal Legends. That's right. It basically signifies the same thing, and my job is to guide you all there. There, see that altar up on top of that hill? That's your destination. It's only a stone's throw away, but you will need to pass through a few checkpoints of sorts to reach it. Think of them as Avalon's defense mechanism. One final test to make sure everything's in order. Everything the Fairy of Paradise has done to date will appear there as an obstacle to overcome. As in from the day she was born up until now. Wenn ein paar grausame Sachen wiederkommen. Tintergell, ihr Dorf und natürlich die ganzen Leichen, über die wir gelaufen sind. That's right. You'll be going over a scrapbook of her life, so to speak, and making sure there are no loose ends. It'll be a little journey in its own right, and that's with a cold, unforgiving winter and ends with a warm, fun spring. Based on how things have gone before, it's safe to say the first obstacle will be the hardest, for many reasons. Maxie, your job is to remove those obstacles and help the Fairy of Paradise advance. Don't worry, you'll be going from hardship to good times, so it'll only get easier the closer you get. And just so we are clear, let me repeat, the Fairy of Paradise's duty is to create the sacred sword. By doing so, the British Lostbelt will lose its divergence point and human history will be stabilized once again. Without its tree of emptiness, the British Lostbelt will simply fade away like all the others. And most importantly, the sacred sword creation will lead directly to the protection of human history. Were this Britain to mix with proper human history, the result would be a world that never had the sacred sword. That will close off the route you have to take to defeat the foreign god. Then again, the foreign god can't stop the collapse either, so you'll both be screwed there. Anyway, I think that's everything you need to know. Any questions? Genau, was bedeutet das am Ende für Artoria? Das war das, was ich im letzten Part schon mal gefragt habe. But, wouldn't that mean... Come on, Maxi, why so glum? It's okay. There's nothing to worry about. I'm still a child of prophecy, remember? This is the moment I've been working toward all this time. I rang all the bells so I could come here. Besides, I've known this was my duty since I rang the fourth bell in Orkney. I planned to come here alone once Nognoria was coronated. So don't worry about anything else, okay? Besides, Chaldea needs one of those divine constructs things too, right? Then we'd better hurry. I'm going to protect the Britain I grew up in. And you guys are going to take back the world you grew up in. We need to do this to make both those things happen, and now it's time to get to it. That's all. This will be the end of our journey. I'm lucky my pilgrimage has been so much fun. Now come on, Maxi. Let's head to the site of selection. Besides, it's not every day you get to go to Avalon, so let's make the most of it. Just watch my back until it's over, okay? Sie sagt das wieder so leichtfüßig, aber wir wissen ja, wie sie innerlich ist. Das haben wir nun schon öfters miterlebt. Okay, gut. Dann wandern wir hier den Pfad. Aber Leute, da ist doch der Turm. Das ist ja ein anderer Turm. Fragt mich nicht. So. Eine Frage. Avalon, also der Innersee, ist ja komplett abgelöst. Also hier sind auch keine Moors, keine Bedrohung. Können wir nicht einfach bleiben. Man, this is a huge flower garden. Couldn't be more different from Britain during to the ground. So the fact that it's called Land of the Young must mean there's plenty of food to go around and people have all the time they could want, right? Yeah, makes sense. There's no one animosity here. Not much reason to do anything bad if you don't gotta take anything from anyone to have what you need. That's true. When you have everything you need, there's no void for you to fill. That's another way. This place is very different from the British Lostbelt, which literally had to build by filling in the sea with the bodies of the dead fairies. Speaking of which, it seems like a good time to tell you about what's going on above ground. The prophecy may have said there are two calamities, the red and the black one. Actually, though, there's no limit to the number of calamities, remember that. New calamities will continue to appear as long as the source remains. The calamities will never go away until Xenunus, the being continually punishing the fairies for their sins, is truly vanquished. Furthermore, thanks to Morgan's hard work, fairies born in the land of the Fae can migrate to proper human history. That means the calamities won't be continued to Britain. They spread into all of them across the bleached world until nothing remains of proper human history. It would basically be a smaller scale version of the King of Magiers' incineration of humanity. So, you guys need to defeat every last one of the calamities before that happens. I see. Then we can't let Xenonus curse spread any further. We need to stop these calamities while they are still continuing in Britain. Exactly. The calamity burning down Britain right now is actually the great calamity that was supposed to happen 1,000 years ago. Morgan averted the calamity by passing it in on a Snob clan ferry. Barges, the leader of the Black Dogs, she is not the fairy you knew anymore. She is now burning all of Britain, and there is the Black Calamity, the calamity of the beast. Baggy. This was all foreseeable. She was born the child of calamity, after all. It was Morgan who sealed that fate away by gifting her a name. She said that as long as Barges was Gawain, she would never become a mythical hound. But even that could only go so far. Barges was already at her limit, even without you guys defeating her. Honestly, it's impressive she lasted as long as she did. This won't be easy to hear, but you need to understand. Once you get back to the surface, you have to fight more than just Xenonus. Like I said, we can't afford to let the calamities leave Britain. Letting some fairies migrate to proper human history was a nice idea. Unfortunately, in Barges' case, that was never an option. Aber ich glaube, das hat sie auch selbst gewusst. As for the other calamity, Xenonus, The one you can fight without having to feel bad or worry. His soul was shattered 14,000 years ago. Now he's just a corpse that not quite done dying. That said, he's still a very powerful god. His flesh has grown thick enough over those millennia to rival Albion's spirit cavern, and this cursed layer is equivalent to 400 kilometers worth of geological stratum. You need the God of Wisdom's curse dispelling all the fighting forces Chaldea can muster, and a divine construct made especially to combat Xenonus. Even then, you'll only just be able to scrape by. Thinking about it, you honestly may not stand a chance. And I can't help you either, since I can't leave this place. The best I can do is show you the way. Oh man, I was really hoping to avoid the story ending in total annihilation. So, not even you have a plan. And after we come all this way? I know, right? If only we had a god-slaying weapon lying around here somewhere. Excalibur. But we do. We have the perfect trump card for attacking on Xenonus. In fact, it'll be a piece of a cake. Really? But where's the trump card? It's Muramasa. Was? Okay. Ach so? Stimmt. Ich dachte jetzt eigentlich, hat Excalibur. Stimmt. Nee. Say what? Come on. Don't you remember? You told us you could cut any god you come across. In fact, you were bragging about how you cut a gigantic one clean in half Olympus place. So there's no reason you can't do this. Same thing here. And since you didn't do anything noteworthy in Camelot, this will be a chance to claim it. Wie hat sie ihn das mal? Das war die Rache für all das, was hier Muramasa am Kopf geschmissen hat. Hey, yeah, with Muramasa? Nee, do you mean clear name? No, is that what you're saying? Property ministry? I see. Good to know. Well, sure, if you really want me to, I can try to cut him down. There, see? He can do it. Just goes to show it never hurts to ask. Jeez, you're finally letting yourself be selfish. And that's the first thing you say? I said, try, okay? Don't get your hopes up. Not sure how much I can do against that thing. Huh? Artoria? Master, Artoria just disappeared. Is this one of this checkpoint you mentioned, Merlin? Yep, that's the first. She's facing her own memories now. And while she's doing that, you guys will need to fight and defeat those. I see, we've got Avalon Cinema Wyverns. Close, but not Sigga. Now come on, get your head in the game. Those are radical abstract dominance of Artoria's winter memories. She'll never be able to leave those memories until you defeat them. But they shouldn't pose any major threat to you now that you've come this far. Go on and give them a good thrashing. I fight too, of course. It's been ages since I last showed up after all. Plus, I've been wanting to see how much stronger you and Mesh have grown up close in person. Ah, es ist zwar schön, dass Merlin da ist, aber ich werde ihn wahrscheinlich nicht benutzen. Ich will eher so diesen mittelmaßigen Marser benutzen. Nee, der hat wieder keine richtige CE drauf. Okay, Castor ist mal wieder ausgelöscht. Brute away, liebe Leute, so wie immer. Aber ich will Merlin irgendwie einsetzen. Ja, kriegen wir hin. Merlin! So schön, dass du da bist. So, Marsch, du bist gut, aber nicht so gut, dass wir dich hernehmen. Puh, und dann würde ich mal sagen, crashen wir einfach mal hier ein bisschen die Party. Erstmal meine gute Koyan. Dann mein guter Roma. Dann hauen wir einfach ein bisschen rauf, oder? Können wir mit PG arbeiten? Ne, können wir nicht. 30%, 50%. Lass mich kurz überlegen. Ja, 50%, dann Koyan. Ja, passt. Okay, gut. Und dann nur noch Bounces. Also, mir gefällt übrigens das Kapitel sehr gut. Es ist einfach so schön, Merlin wieder dabei zu haben. Der macht halt einfach mega Laune, Mann. Auch wenn er doof ist und gemein und was auch immer. Es ist verkackt nochmal Merlin. Ich freue mich so, dass er wieder da ist, Mann. Es ist so schön. Und bitte mehr von meinem guten Freund Merlin. Er rockt einfach, Mann. Was soll man sagen? So, aber erstmal müssen wir jetzt hier die Gegner wegrocken, bevor wir hier weitermachen. Und dafür nehme ich natürlich meine Good Roma Party. Es ist auch so schön, die Musik, die hier im Hintergrund läuft. Oh, 6 Stück, okay, das ist schlecht. Na gut, wir werden sie eh nicht in einem Wutsch beziehen. Deswegen machen wir den. Den. Ja, mal einen Guts, was ziemlich eklig ist. Bin mal gespannt, ob Roma das hier schafft. Ja, knapp. Und ihr seid nun alle geromert. Oh, 1 hat's überstanden. Visier bitte den... Ja, natürlich visierst du den nicht an, das war mir schon klar. Alter, habt ihr das... Alter! Schau dir mal die Grimasse an, das habe ich noch nie gesehen, sieht doch voll gruselig aus. So, hat gar nicht wehgetan, mehr Roma-Action. So, und natürlich, Merle muss natürlich hierher. Was kann ich... Ohne ihn kann ich einfach nicht agieren. So, zack. I need more damage. More damage. Ich sagte more damage. So, und das sollte so ganz knapp reichen. Wir werden jetzt echt gut Damage machen. Million wird's locker. Bisschen mehr als eine Million, aber nur ein bisschen. Das ist Bastard Damage, Mann, wenn ich meinen Boy Merlin hier dabei habe. So, 2 Züge, passt doch einmal frei. Leute, Mann, Curses gegen Roma, Mann. Da müsst ihr früher aufstehen, Mann. So, übrigens sehr nett, dass wir die ganze Zeit diese schönen Bells bekommen. Übrigens zu Castoras Prüfung, sie wird natürlich das erste mit Tintergel machen und das ist im Endeffekt das schwerstvollste, denke ich mal, bei ihren Erinnerungen, wo sie hier im Endeffekt ja gezwungen wurde, hier zu arbeiten. Vielleicht sehen wir es auch schon davor von ihrer Geburt, also wo sie aus dem Paradies hergekommen ist. Why do I feel so disgusted after fighting them? Ja, das sind Castoras Erinnerungen. That's not actually all that surprising. Those were Castora's past painful memories given physical form. We have no way of knowing what they are, but by defeating them, we felt some of the same feelings they inspire in her. Huh? Where did you all go? You just disappeared on me out of nowhere. I was really worried. Hey, you just disappeared. We've been here fighting off Widmer's end. Now, Murmasa, all in good time. She was ablutions she needs to perform to enter the site of selection, and we have obstacle to remove. We only have 3 more of those to go. Let's just take them one at a time. Whatever you have to say can wait until we've reached the site of selection. So, I don't have to do any fighting this time? Sounds good to me. Come on, let's keep going. Das ist wieder ihr... Leute, das ist so krass, man. Das ist wieder ihr gespieltes Gesicht da, wo sie sagt, ja, ist alles schön. Solange ich nicht kämpfen muss, ist doch ein wunderschöner Tag. Aber in Wahrheit wird sie da ihre Erinnerung haben. Wie gesagt, wie die Tintergeller sie ja im Endeffekt dazu gezwungen haben, zur Out of Selection geht. Dieses Ding, wie sie Hector töten musste, der sie aufgezogen hat. Das war absolut grausig. Und im Endeffekt wahrscheinlich, dass sie schon seit ihrer ersten Stunde wusste, dass sie im Endeffekt hier bestimmt ist, irgendwann mal sich zu opfern. Whenever I close my eyes, this is where I'd be. It didn't matter if I was awake or asleep, I'd still be shivering from the frigid wind. Howling, wind strong enough to shadow your ears. I have nothing to protect me, my body feels cold as ice. Surrounded by pitch darkness, with nothing for warmth, and no hope for escape, that's how I grew up. For me, Britain was a pure hell. The prophecy was true. She will be our salvation. She will be our salvation. She is the savior who washed up on the shore along with the name Artoria. May you grow healthy and strong to the age of 16. May the Queen's soldiers never find you. Now go on. Hurry. Hurry and greet your 16th birthday. We have completed faith in you, which is why you must give everything you have for us. A small newborn fairy washed ashore in a boat loaded with all kinds of treasure. What an incredible stroke of luck! This guy must be the Shadow of Prophecy. What a horrible omen! If the High Queen finds out about her, we'll be all done for. The village fairy's opinions were split right down the middle. but they all agreed on what should be done. At least the child of prophecy should be useful. We'll raise her ourselves until she turns 16. But she's the fairy of paradise, right? I don't like her. I'm sure she's going to mock us. She doesn't deserve a proper house. What do humans do with creatures like that again? I know. They raise them as livestock. We can make her lovely a little stable. The other villagers will never find out about here if we say we're raising a horse. We can keep the child of prophecy all for ourselves. The fairies of Tintagel treated me as a precious resource. I had almost no magic energy, which made them worry about me. It's been 4 years since she got here, and she still has barely any magic energy. Poor thing, she may as well be here human. I can't believe she still can't do anything impressive. I'm worried. Is she able to survive like this? I know. We need to train her. We need to be hard on her, metaphorically with her. We can't even give her time to sleep. Forgive us, Caster. This is all for your own good. The way you are now, you can't even dream of being the child of prophecy, and we don't have any time for dreams. We really need to have her grow at least a little. You can barely tell her apart from the humans. No one will believe she's a child of prophecy like this, not even when she turns 16. Who cares if she can defeat the queen or not? All that matters is that she's valuable. It doesn't matter whether she's the real child of prophecy or not. She just has to look the part so we can get rich. Why, sir, would we bother taking the fairy of paradise? We just have to make sure she doesn't die. We don't have to worry about her running away. She's much too weak to do that. But the village fairies didn't know that my Fae eyes still worked. However, much I wished I couldn't. I always saw the true feelings they kept for themselves. Deep down, they all feared and loathed me. The fairies that feared me believed in the child of prophecy with all their hearts and worked on me like that. The fairies that loathed me hated the fairy of paradise and abused me without a second thought. Aside from that, all anyone felt for me was indifference. I was considered a precious resource, but treated like I wasn't even there. But I couldn't blame them for that. I more or less knew what my duty was. I was to bring salvation to the fairies of Britain, to free them from the suffering, and to save them in the true sense of the word. Even as a child, I understood that fulfilling my duty would mean the end of Britain as it now existed. Also es ist ja schlimm, Mann. Also wie gesagt, Morgan hat ja auch immer erzählt, und generell wurde ja auch immer, es macht ja alles Sinn. Also die ursprünglichen Feen haben ja im Endeffekt gesagt, dass alles, was aus dem Paradies kommt, böse ist. Und das macht auch Sinn, da sie im Endeffekt wussten, irgendwann wird etwas kommen und sich rächen dafür, was sie mit Xernunes und mit der Welt hier veranstaltet haben. Und genau deswegen haben sie eben hier diesen Satz eben gesagt, wie gesagt, dass jede Fee aus dem Paradies böse ist. Und das war ja im Endeffekt wie wir also morgens A6 und natürlich auch ihre Aufgabe. I could deal with the slave driving, the abuse and the disinterest because I knew the reason behind them, but the sound was too much to bear. Asleep or awake, there was never a time I didn't hear it. House of deceit, house of self-interest, house of selfishness, house of envy, the sounds I could never shout out, the sounds of fairies' true feelings. It was enough to make me lose track of where I was and where I meant to go. I hear bells ringing. They tell me to go on a pilgrimage to save the fairies. Honestly, this sounds depress me, too. I know it's supposed to be an honorable mission, but how in the world am I supposed to save fairies like that? Die! So that's why I'm out in the nearby field again, hard at working on my training. Today's another day of close quarters combat practice with the Staff Selection, which arrived with me and my boat as a weapon. I can't use anything like Fey domains, so the only thing I can do with my step is bob people. It was an early afternoon in my 6th year. I had just collapsed from exhaustion. My melee combat training was the only time I had to myself. Once the villager keeping an eye on me left, figuring I was so weak I wouldn't be able to escape. Anyway. Huh? Then, just as my voice was trilling off. That was nasty. The fairies at your place are pretty horrible, you know that? Huh? Did you just talk stuff? No, I'm not the stuff of selection. I'm just a noisy old buzzy body. And I just couldn't take how awful Tintagel is anymore, or how sickening it is to see you doing everything they tell you. I just had to say something. I swear, I wasn't planning on getting involved, but now I just don't think I have a choice. Listen up, I'm Merlin, the Mage of Flowers. I'm going to be your teacher from now on, don't forget it. That was how I met Merlin, or at least his voice coming from the staff of selection. That was how I began studying to be a mage. Magecraft. I know about that. Queen Mong uses that. But what exactly is it? What exactly are you going to teach me? What do you mean? Magecraft, of course. Merlin Magecraft. Trust me, it's really something. Oh, will it let me fly like a bird? Like zoom, whoosh, pshoo? Flying? You'd like to fly? That's pretty tall order for your first spell. I don't know how to fly. What are you, some kind of quack? Oh no, I can't fly easily. I'm the amazing Merlin. But let's hold off on that one for now. Not even the Wind Clan can fly after all. The sky is the dragon's domain. Only precious few upper class fairies can go there. So, for your first spell, let's start with something closer to home. Something that'll make your life easier. Tell me, is there anything you could use right now that would make you happy? Well, I guess I'd like if it was nighttime was warmer. My house gets really cold if it even freezes over the winter. I actually lost 2 toes last year cause of those. Was? Sind die wieder nachgewachsen, oder? I haven't told anyone else to. It's a way. Alter! Got it. I'll start getting a lesson ready for you right away. Just give me 2 days to find some teaching materials. Merlin taught me all sorts of spells. Heating, detection, healing, linguistic, camouflage, lockpicking. The lockpicking and step skills. Explosive obstacles. Every time I expressed interest in learning a new spell, he'd say, "Sorry, I can't today. You just have to wait until the next lesson." And then we'd make a Magecraft items together. Those lessons formed the foundation of my Merlin Magecraft. Looking back on it, he must have had to change the spells a lot just so I could use them with my tiny pool of magic energy. Say, why are you teaching me all this when every Briton fairy hates me? Because I'm not a British fairy. Sorry, just kidding. The fact is, you are the fairy of paradise, no matter what the fairies of your village think. Eventually, most fairies will come to follow you. When they do, you need to be the ideal no. The kind of savior that everyone dreams of. A fantastical savior. Fantastical? That's right. You need to be a character straight off of a children's story. Everyone has different fantasies. Some want a strong king, some a kind king, some a scary king, and so on. Your job is to be able to be all of those things. You need to inspire hopes and dreams, or rather, bring them all together. Everything wants something different, so a single name would only get in the way. That's why you need to be a nameless king. Someone who stands at the edge of the world rather than its center. And serves as a beacon of hope for others just by virtue of existing, glowing straight, shining with possibilities. That's the kind of king I'd like you to become. The kind that can inspire people from atop castle walls, no matter the time and place. Can I really be all that? Sure you can. It might be impossible in reality, but anything possible in fantasy. And people have always had a way of making fantasy become reality. That's why future we thought we could only dream of eventually stop being dreams. Das hat er irgendwie schön gesagt. Merlin was very talkative and a lot of fun to be around, but that only lasted for a year. A fairy girl saw me laughing in the field and reported me to the village elder, who responded by taking away the staff of selection until I turned 60 and set out on my journey. From then on, every day was more painful than the last. That's the end of my winter memories. Merlin hat es ja angekündigt. Die Winter und am Ende endet es alles in einem schönen Frühling. Also, beim nächsten Mal gehen wir dann zu den Herbsterinnerungen von Artoria und schauen mal, leider nur wie schlimm es weiterging. Bis zum nächsten Mal, auf Wiedersehen, ciao.